What's up, and welcome to 5280 Film Room.
We're a Colorado sports podcast by fans for fans.
Please subscribe, rate, and review, and also follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
You can also email us your input, questions, and ideas at 5280filmroom@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.
What's up, Nuggets fans? You're listening to 5280 Film Room. I'm Gideon.
I'm Miles.
And we just got finished watching the Nuggets slap around the Jazz for 4 quarters. And,
Well, really the fourth quarter.
Well, mostly the fourth quarter, yeah.
Fourth, yeah. The third was a little rough.
We held them to only one field goal for a substantial chunk of the fourth quarter.
I think it was like 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's basically unheard of, especially in the fourth quarter of being a Nuggets fan. Like, typically...
And a team, like both teams know each other very well.
Yes.
We play each other.
I mean, they're part of our division, so we play
Yep.
them, at least 6 times a year, every year. But being a Nuggets fan, you're so used to seeing the Nuggets go up and put up big points, but then letting teams come back in the fourth quarter and push them a little bit. So it was good to see that our defense held, our bench was able to step up, even with Jokic only putting up 7 points.
Yeah, I mean, but 16 assists. I mean, he
did double with 10 rebounds, 16
which
assists, which is fantastic.
Solid.
It's just one of those games that isn't necessarily what you expect, but you're happy to watch because it was still exciting in different kind of ways. And watching Plumlee drain his first career 3-pointer.
Shoot more threes.
Yeah. Don't shoot more threes.
Don't do that, Plumlee.
No, the shot clock was winding down, so there was no option to pass it. And
great awareness,
he was also not covered. But yeah, great awareness on checking the shot clock before moving the ball. And a lot of coaches, like when you look at, just coaching Little League, you talk about the triple threat stance. And that's when you receive the ball, you have 3 options. You can pass, you can dribble, or you can shoot. And once you get into the more advanced fundamentals of basketball, you got to throw checking the shot clock into there as well. Because if you catch the ball and you're indecisive, then if the shot clock's low, that's a 24-second violation, and it's a turnover that's unacceptable, especially in the professional atmosphere.
Yeah, there were some times, I don't recollect if we've actually had a 24-second violation in this game. I want to say we did, but there were times that in the second and third quarter, I think predominantly, we looked to pass way more often than we were looking to shoot, especially when we were driving to the hole. There were multiple times where it was either turnovers and just bad passes that the Jazz capitalized on that led to our slow start in the second half. Mm-hmm. But as the season progresses, we're more and more becoming that fourth quarter team that can come back. We saw it against the Bulls. I
thought we were going to lose against the Bulls because our third quarter wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. Yeah. And then the fourth quarter was absolutely bad. It wasn't pretty to watch. We battled back over the last 2 or 3 minutes of game time and then forced overtime. But even in overtime, it wasn't pretty. Mm-hmm. And the Bulls definitely, I think, surprised us. And that was...
Levine just went off.
Yes.
Which, it's hard to stop him.
And when he's feeling it, especially, he was at home, that was our first road trip, if you want to call it. It was only a 2-game road trip. But that was the first one. We traveled to Chicago and then moved on to Cleveland. But I think the Nuggets got a little bit comfortable playing at home. We beat the Pelicans, had a nice,
a great game.
nice little trip to LA when we lost to the Lakers. But even that game was fun to watch, even though we lost.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever you're playing a LeBron-led team, if it's a close game, the odds are always in the favor of the team that has LeBron.
Yes.
I
And they
mean,
were at home.
and at
Kobe
home.
Bryant was in the stadium.
Yeah.
That was, I think everyone.
Stevenson was hitting some big shots. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
Lance
a
will
team.
dance.
Yeah.
But I think next time we face the Lakers, we will definitely show them who's boss. And
What's scary about the Lakers is there are a lot of new faces to that team. And I mean, I think Tyson Chandler is about to be.
he got signed on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He'll be backing up McGee.
Yeah, but I mean that's
But that's going to add another big body who's a veteran and knows
Yep.
how to properly control a game.
But they've got a lot of new veterans with a core of some young players that
Yeah.
don't know necessarily how to win.
Yeah.
Um,
And LeBron,
I think they're just going to get better and better as the season goes.
LeBron had to kind of take control a little bit when they played the Nuggets, and I think that was a big driving factor of LeBron going to LA was to be able to show these young guys how to win, and he wanted to show the world how much of a mentor and leader he is because LeBron's
Just adding
entire
that other aspect to his
right.
arsenal.
LeBron's entire career, he's been surrounded by other core veterans that have been successful in their own careers prior to playing with LeBron. And so I think the only thing missing from LeBron's career is being successful with a young core. And I mean,
Yeah,
you've got Brandon
definitely.
Ingram, Lonzo Ball,
Kuzma.
and Kuzma, even Josh Hart. Like, he's shown us that he's got some substantial talent, and he had some great plays against the Nuggets last week. But we kind of had a little bit of a break. We were both pretty busy over the last week and a half, so that's why we weren't able to record over. What was this last 1, 2, 3,
5
4,
games.
5, 6 games?
6 games.
Because, we recorded after we beat the Warriors, which is still fantastic because
Yep.
the Warriors and Nuggets are the only one-loss teams in the West.
And that's huge. I mean, I think the Warriors are definitely going to be able to sustain that ratio more than the Nuggets. But we've got a big...
The Nuggets aren't getting any love on the
They aren't,
national
no.
side.
And
that's great. I think it's fantastic because
Yes.
when we lost
little
to
bit
the
less
Lakers,
pressure.
I think especially Gary Harris and Jamal Murray, I think they were kind of getting ahead of themselves. Like, yeah, we're undefeated. Like,
Yep.
we got some swagger, this and that, and then they played a LeBron-led team and still almost won. We only lost 121 to 114,
Yep.
and that most of that lead was kind of padded in the last minute and a half of that game.
yeah, the rhythm shooting and
Yeah.
the momentum that the Lakers had.
Lance Stevenson's
Yeah.
core or solid defense. So I think that loss was definitely needed for the Nuggets to sustain their hot streak, and it's definitely shown because we've won 4 in a row now. As of today, we're 8-1 after beating the Jazz. But I think showing the world that going on that quick little road trip against the Bulls and the Cavaliers was a huge step for this young team into the next era of the Nuggets being hopefully a nice dynasty here on out.
That would be phenomenal.
I know we're not
but,
going to hit
I
the
mean,
level
that's-
of the Warriors.
Yeah, and that's the long-term focus, but short-term it's beneficial for us to get that confidence and momentum just on a week to or game-to-game basis, especially with what we have coming up over the next 4, 5, 6 games. Because we got the Celtics on Monday. Who do we got after that? We got
I got it coming up right now. But even against the Celtics, it's going to be a
Celtics is gonna be
difficult game
tough.
because they're a young team. I mean, Kyrie's a vet, but he's 28, 29 years old. So he's not
One of the best guards.
old, but
game.
yeah, I would say he was definitely top 3 guards in the game right now.
Gordon Hayward's healthy.
Gordon Hayward's healthy, and I mean Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Man, I always get their names mixed up, but they are both fantastic individuals. But not just that, like the Celtics play as a team, and they're very similar to the Nuggets, where it's like, hey, put your ego aside and worry about your team.
Team ball, not
Team
individual
ball, this is how
Yeah.
we win. We're worried about the W's, and we're not worried about individual stat lines.
Yep.
And we saw that from the Nuggets tonight. I mean, Malone pulled Jokic out with like 2.5 minutes, and Jokic almost definitely could have gotten his triple-double, but that's how Malone coaches this team, is like, hey, let's get the win. Let's protect our players' longevity. And, you know, it's great to see our top players get those pretty stat lines. But at the end of the day, at the end of the season, all that matters is your record and your playoff standing. And the higher we are in the standings, the better outlook it'll be to making a deep playoff run. And that's absolutely necessary, especially when you have some substantial powerhouses in the West. Like, you look at the Warriors, you look at the Trailblazers,
Rockets.
Well, the Rockets are doing booty right now.
They're doing booty, but I mean,
they've got like, the players.
Harden's been kind of struggling
He's
with
hurt.
injuries.
Yeah.
Chris Paul was suspended for 3 games, 2 games.
Melo's on a new team.
It's old Melo. I don't. It's,
His last 2 games, he's gotten over 20 points, and he's shown that he can be more efficient than he was in New York. And
That's good for him.
I think this team, the Rockets team, is more tailored for Melo than
As
the
who he is as a
the
player.
Thunder were. And that's why he only spent a year in OKC. And even in
now
OKC, you
OKC
see it, like Paul George is taking more load on, and he's thriving, and the Thunder are still doing pretty well right now.
Schroeder's been looking good, helping out with Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrook started the season injured, and Schroeder had to take on a little bit more than I'm sure
he was kind of
expecting.
Well,
but
he
he came from Atlanta, and he was the man in Atlanta.
He was the Westbrook in Atlanta.
So yeah, but coming up after the Celtics, we have to go to Memphis to play the Grizzlies.
That's who I was.
But then that's what I kind of love about basketball is you get homestands, you get road trips, and it puts a different kind of not aspect, but like fatigue on a team when you're on a road trip, because you're not in the same place. You're flying, you're on buses, you're doing these different things that might mess up individuals' routine. But after we come back from Memphis, like, we are on a homestand, and we face the Nets, the Bucks, the Rockets, and the Hawks. So we have 4 games straight at home. And I know when we started this podcast, I was kind of joking around, like, maybe the Nuggets could go 10-0, or like even 8-2 would be fantastic. Well, we're sitting here and we're 8-1.
Yeah.
And
it's
like,
phenomenal.
Like, I didn't think that prediction was going to come true, but it came true. And now I'm looking at our schedule coming up, and even if we lose against the Celtics at home, we could still be, 13-2, or let's say 8-2, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We could be like 13-2 going into our road trip, which is against the Pelicans, the Bucks, and the Timberwolves.
That's going to be a tough road trip.
And that's going to be a really tough road trip for sure.
Yeah.
Because the Pelicans will have a healthy AD, Anthony Davis.
And he wasn't in the first matchup against us.
Correct.
When we won by we won by 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think going back to tonight, I mean, for Jokic, he definitely could have had a triple-double, but
those 16 assists.
16 assists are nice, but it's the points, I think, were limited solely on the fact that, I mean, he's going up against the Defensive Player of the Year last year in Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert's. I mean, everyone. Well, and he missed like 20 games last year
Yeah.
as well. Like not just that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Rudy Gobert like led the league in blocks. Like
Missing
there's a reason
a
why he
quarter
was
of the season.
defensive player of the year.
But then on the flip side, I mean, that's kind of what makes me a little bit nervous when it comes to playing a full strength Pelicans team.
Yes,
Because
because Anthony
AD
Davis is. I mean, a lot of people say Jokic is probably the best center. I would say he's probably the best offensive center in the league because
say
he can
that's-
pass and he can shoot like from anywhere on the court. But
I'd say
Anthony
AD
Davis is hands down like the overall
Like all around
defense,
defense,
offense.
yeah,
Like he's
for
not
sure.
he's not a 3-point shooter and he's not a huge passer, but he is a dude that'll put up 40 points and 20 rebounds.
But I mean, he's more of a shooter than Gobert is.
Correct.
Like he will pull up from three.
Now and then.
It's not a Jokic consistency, but
Right.
yeah. It'll be nice to see how Jokic's defense progresses throughout the year. There's been flashes of him where you can tell that he's focused on defense in the offseason. But then there's times where he just doesn't give. He just
He
kind of
looks
gives
a little
up.
lazy.
He's like,
all right, I'll give it to you. But that's also because he's getting ready to run the court on the offensive side. Like as soon as
Yeah.
that ball drops through the rim, he's grabbing it, he's passing it to either Murray or Harris, and he's hightailing it to the other end of the court
And he can
because
sh-
he knows the ball's coming right back to him.
Yeah, and he can launch some lasers
Yeah.
cross court.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's
it's
what's great.
awesome.
Like when he can get those rebounds and get in a good transition offense and push a fast break, like what the average team would look at is just, we got a rebound, let's move it up court, it's a new possession. The Nuggets view it as like, let's make a fast break. Because we've got these young dudes with Murray, Harris, Beasley, and even Monte Morris.
Yeah.
Like when they're on the floor, like they're hightailing it just like Jokic does. And if Jokic gets a offense or a defensive rebound on a missed shot, he's gonna launch it.
And they know
40,
it's gonna
50
be
feet, and it's
pretty
going
much
to be
pinpoint.
a dime,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
So it's exciting to see when Jokic specifically showcases his passing. When he's not
Yes.
worried about scoring, it's a lot of fun to watch because you see these younger dudes like Juancho, Malik Beasley,
Yep.
being the recipients of these passes, and they're wide open. And it makes them look better than they might actually be, but at the same time, that gives them more court time and experience around defenders that might be starters. I mean,
Oh,
when
yeah, for
when
sure.
watching this game tonight, it seemed like our starting five wasn't really on the floor together. We kind of always had like a hybrid where it was like 2 or 3 starters with 2 or 3 bench players.
Yeah, I think
rolling
the
with
run that we went when we went on a like 15-0
20 to
run.
1, 20 to 1 run.
Yeah, I mean it's 20-1, but I think when we were at like 13 or 14 or 15-0 run, it was Plumlee, Lyles, Beasley, Murray, and someone else, I forget, but it was like you said, 2 starters, 3, maybe 4 bench players. Mm-hmm. Oh, Juancho was on there.
Juancho. Yeah.
So I mean, that's 1 starter and 4 bench players going on a run
Against a starting 5
Yeah.
Utah Jazz.
I mean, they were kind of sans
Mitchell
for
went down with a twisted
brief period.
ankle, but
He came
either
back.
way, like Rubio is a good veteran point guard. He was injured most of the year last year.
Yep.
But when you have to go up against like Derek Favors and Rudy Gobert in the paint, like that's not easy.
With Plumlee and Juancho
But-
or Lyles.
Yeah. But that, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're like a daily fantasy basketball player, Trey Lyles was definitely a good pick because we got him in a trade from Utah. He's playing against his teammates and he wants to show out.
Well, same with Millsap. I mean, he was earlier in his career before Atlanta. He was with the Utah Jazz and he was just going off on people. It was good to see Millsap produce a little bit more on the offensive end, backing down but also shooting.
He looks to be more confident.
He's
in
getting
his
he's
long
getting more
range,
of the
like his
rhythm down
3-point
after being
shots,
out
but
for the majority last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Millsap to have a full year, and I think internally he wants to get an 82-game season in.
Definitely.
With no injuries. And if he does have to sit out any games, I don't think, for him personally, he doesn't want to sit out more than 1 or 2 games in a row. He's got that fire that he's like, no, you guys are paying me big money, and I want to show you guys why you're paying me big money.
I don't know if this, I'm pretty sure it's accurate, but I'm pretty sure that Millsap is the highest paid player with cap space, in regards to cap space, on the Nuggets this season. He's getting paid $29 million.
Yeah. I mean, because
And
we
Jokic
extended
is-
Jokic. We extended him for the max, and that's not the same as like a re-signing. Like if he was approaching free agency, you can do it a little bit differently. But with Millsap, we got him in...
We
like
absorbed the contract.
A trade and extend.
Yeah.
Or sign and extend, however they terminologize it. Me and my English. But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. Millsap's probably, I would agree, yeah, he's got to be the highest paid player for this year on our salary.
And what's great, like, he's playing up to his salary. Same with Mason Plumlee. Or is it, do we have Mason or Miles?
We have Mason.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them. And they're all named M's.
Yeah.
Mason, Miles, and Marshall.
The Denver
but we
Nugget
have
Plumlee.
Mason.
Yeah.
Plum Dog.
Dropping threes. Shoot all the threes. He's playing up to his salary too, I think. I mean,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's
getting like,
right around 14, 15 a year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good money. But
after, it definitely is.
A lot of the NFL players were like kind of taken aback when these basketball players started getting new contracts after the NBA renewed their television contract. That television deal that they went through was worth over $1 billion. So that gets dispersed to all these different teams, and the players know it. And they know what they bring to each of their respective teams. And that's why you look at a player like Harrison Barnes, who's getting paid probably like $23 to $25 million a year, and that dude is not outputting that kind of salary.
No.
But he knew he was coming off the Warriors championship team. I'm gonna go to Dallas. Mark Cuban will pay me good money. But we haven't seen Harrison Barnes be the player that he was coming off the bench from the Warriors.
Oh, no, for sure. And he ended up starting for a little bit, I think, during one of the Warriors' playoff runs.
And that's why he got that showcase, if you will. But going back to the Nuggets, like $14 million sounds like a lot for Plumlee. But when you compare,
I think it sounds like a lot for a bench player.
Yes, but we had to give up Nurkic to the Blazers, and I think he ended up getting hurt, which kind of derailed his career a little bit. But we basically had to weigh the odds between Nurkic and Jokic, and when Nurkic was a Nugget, he was showing us like he can be a dominant center as well. But I think the Nuggets definitely made the right decision. And
oh yeah, for sure.
Last year it got a little dicey because Plumlee was injured, and then having Millsap injured as well. It was like we needed Plumlee to be there, and he wasn't. And I know a lot of fans were pretty upset. Like, why are we paying this dude so much money to sit on the bench and be injured? But now we're seeing it this year with Millsap and Plumlee healthy.
It is awesome.
And then on top of that, we've got Juancho dropping threes.
We've talked enough about Plumlee's three.
Yeah.
His single three.
But between our bigs, like we have 4 bigs that are all they have different games. Well, like I'm not even talking about Lyles.
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah.
Just like Juancho, Millsap,
Jokic.
Plumlee, and Jokic.
Yeah.
Like between those 4, Lyles is definitely a lights out defender, and he's showing his progression on the offensive side. But between the 4 that I just named, each of them have their own different kind of game, and when they're each on the floor, they figure out a way how to be productive. And a a good stat line that the NBA is starting to accept, like in this analytic world that we're in now, is a plus-minus differential. And growing up in the 90s, I used to always assume that was purely a hockey stat. When you're on the ice, you want to be able to score goals and not allow goals. And
Yep.
when you're looking at a game like basketball where it's a game of runs and there's constantly points being scored, I
Yep.
think the plus minus is a little bit like generic and unnecessary. But seeing how the Nuggets have been so efficient on the defensive side this year, like you see these players plus minuses, like in a single game, you're looking at, plus 10, plus 16, and there's only been a couple of games where we've had players in the negative. And that's fantastic,
sure.
because it doesn't matter who's on the court. It means we're going to be putting up more points than our opponent.
But that translates, going back to the hockey aspect, it translates from the fact that we are playing solid defense, but also producing as a team on the offense.
Yes. And that's how, like, I know the announcers on Altitude were saying, if you win every quarter, that's how you win a game.
Well,
like,
yeah.
You guarantee a win if
definitely.
you win each quarter. And if you look at each quarter as its own little, like, mini game, if you will.
Wars of the battle.
Yeah.
Or battles
of the war.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you win the entire war. But you're going to have to go up against teams like the Celtics. And, Jokic is going to have it cut out against him when we face Milwaukee Bucks. Because Giannis, I would say, is probably going to win MVP this year as long as he stays healthy, because the team that's surrounding him isn't as good as
The team
the
surrounding
Warriors
like
or the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Giannis is leading a winning team and showing what a true MVP is.
Kinda
And when
like,
you, even if you look at James Harden last year,
Yeah.
he still had like a substantial supporting cast.
for sure.
But
Ariza, Tucker, Paul.
yeah,
But would you relate Giannis and his team to LeBron of like 07, 06? Because LeBron didn't have a team in
that's
Cleveland.
like before he went to Miami, right?
Before Miami, yeah.
Uh,
As far as a single
Yeah,
player that's
yeah.
as dominant on a team
Absolutely.
that wills them to win.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely elevates the play
LeBron
of
was
everyone
young
else.
enough. We knew he was talented enough, and he had stepped away from his pass first mentality. So yeah, like in 06, 07, when LeBron was like, you knew the Cavs were going to be deep playoff runners, if not guaranteed in the finals.
Because of him.
And like because of LeBron, that kind of produced the Warriors.
Yeah.
Like LeBron and the Cavs were like guaranteed to go in the finals, and then they lost in the finals, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why LeBron left. But because of that, the Warriors kind of came out of nowhere.
I think it kind of stemmed from that, but also LeBron's move to Miami.
Yeah.
I think it was a combination of both of those factors.
Right,
With
and that
LeBron's-
was like 2008, 2009, if I'm not mistaken. But now you fast forward 10 years,
Yep.
and it's kind of flipped. You have the Warriors, who are like guaranteed to be in the finals, and now that's what's exciting about being a Nuggets fan, and also flying under the radar from the national aspect is like
Yep.
people are talking about, oh, like maybe it's gonna be Warriors Raptors, like that would be a great finals matchup, and it's like, wait a minute. The Nuggets are one win behind tying the Warriors right now. Like, they've played one extra game than us, but we
Yeah.
also only have one loss.
and their loss is against us,
Exactly.
which is awesome.
So it's like it's the season's still young, and we're gonna be able to see a lot of progression, not just with our own team and players, but with the Western Conference standings as a whole. And like right now we're leading our division, which doesn't mean anything for the playoff standings, but it used to be like 2 years ago, I used to always dread facing the Blazers and the Jazz because they
Yep.
would beat our asses. And then that would like ruin our 4 or 5 game win streak. But now that we have a young core and players that are growing into their
quote
own,
unquote the mile high big three.
yeah, with Jokic, Harris, and Murray.
Yeah.
Murray's showing us that he's one of the best young, if not the best young point guards, like under 25. And
Gary Harris
on top
is
of
one
that,
of the
like,
best two-way players.
Between those three, Jokic is the oldest at, 23, 24?
Yeah.
Like, that's scary.
That's really scary. And it's great to have the multiple different aspects. I mean, we got the big man who can pass and shoot from anywhere on the floor. He's Murray.
He's a floor general.
He's a floor general.
But Harris is like a swingman.
He's like, but the two-way player.
Yeah.
I would say out of those three, Harris is definitely the best defensive player.
I would absolutely agree. And it's going to be exciting to see Gary Harris grow, because I know there was a point where it was like, do we trade Gary Harris? Like, and a lot of people, like, we forget about Will Barton because he got injured so early in the season, and that's the other side. We gave Barton a pretty good contract for what he was as a sixth man, and he wanted to be a starter, and we gave him a contract to show him, like, hey, you will be a starter. And then he got hurt. Torrey Craig steps in Barton's position, but that opened up Gary Harris to, like, really take control of the offensive side. But he's also shown, like you said, that he's a two-way player, and he's ready to put in that effort in getting steals and interrupting passes and getting around screens, things like that.
For sure. Looking ahead, what do you look forward to most over the next, 4 or 5 games? Whether it's matchups or game specifics or the road matchup. I mean, that's probably 7 games out, 6 games out.
Yeah, it's after 6 games. So 7 games away is the start of our road trip. I mean, we have one road game against the Grizzlies, but over the next 4 games, I'm really looking forward to this game against the Celtics. We're at home on a Monday night, which is kind of odd. Denver's not known for, having a sellout crowd, especially on a weeknight regarding the Nuggets games. But
actually, speaking of which, I think all 4 of our podcast members are going to be watching that game. Alyssa and Jordan won tickets to that game.
Yeah,
they will be there.
They will be there. That is going to be Alyssa's first Nuggets game attending.
Super jelly.
And yeah, they got club level seats because Jordan won a costume contest as Ant-Man. But yeah, all 4 of us will be watching the game. Miles and I will be at home watching on TV, unfortunately. Tickets are way too expensive to actually go. I mean, I'm tempted to look to see what they will be right when the game starts, but even if they're still $80.
I mean, we've been club level for some Celtics Nuggets games. What, one last season?
Yeah.
You've been to a few more?
Yeah.
But
it's fun. It's fun to watch Kyrie.
But now
Tatum,
it's a
they have a full squad with Hayward.
Yeah. Aside from Barton, I think, and I haven't looked at the Celtics injury report, but I'm pretty sure
they're pretty much 100%.
Both teams are 100%.
Yeah.
With the exception of Barton.
Yes. So this is going to be, I don't want to call it, a finals matchup, but both teams are going to go into this game.
Well, I mean, the Jazz game,
to win.
Jazz game, I mean, that had the feel of a playoff game.
Well, and the Jazz are definitely lower. I think they're last in our division. They're, I don't have. Let me pull up the standings real quick.
As far as the
Jazz,
the
Jazz aren't having a good start to their season, but they're losing very close games against really good teams.
But they were a playoff team last year.
They were a playoff team last year. The Nuggets should have been a playoff team last year. Screw the Timberwolves.
We better stomp on them.
So the Jazz are 4-5. The Timberwolves are 4-5. The Thunder are 4-4. And then you've got the Blazers right behind the Nuggets at 6-2. So even you still look at our division, and we have a strong division because we're only 9-10 games in, and all the teams in our division who we play the most out of any other individual team These are teams that have good cores and are always going to give the Nuggets a tough time.
Looks like the Lakers might beat the Blazers, so they're going to drop to 6-3.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we also knew the Lakers were going to start coming into their own. They had a tough start, but that's also like they had to change their entire game plan once LeBron came onto their team. But I think going back to the Nuggets-Celtics game, this is going to be like if playoffs were just raw standings and didn't have to worry about East versus West, like this is a playoff game. Mm-hmm. The Celtics want to win this game on the road to show that they can handle us, but then at the same time, the Nuggets want to be more on the national aspect of things and be like, hey, like what if we win against the Celtics by 12, 15 points?
At least double digits.
Double digits, yeah. If we can finish this game at home and beat the Celtics, let's say, we have one of the best defensive efficiencies in the league right now. So if we can hold the Celtics under 103 and Nuggets drop 112, 115, that's going to elevate our team to a national attention where, you're going to wake up in the morning, turn on SportsCenter, and the Nuggets are going to be a headliner.
Yeah, and which would be phenomenal to see. That'd be
excellent.
Yes.
I've been wanting this for so long.
The interesting thing that I'm excited to see is how we do. I mean, we're undefeated at home, but then on the flip side of things, going back to the home record, I mean, last year we were one of the best home teams in the entire league.
And a lot of it's got to do with our altitude because
and our fast-paced tempo. I mean,
because
couple
we run
both 2 and 2.
Yeah, because we run hard.
Yep.
You got to keep up with us, and then when you're not used to training at altitude like the Nuggets are, we practice
every offseason
at altitude
all the time.
Yeah, so we're conditioned for it, and that's definitely a better home field advantage than what say the Thunder or the Warriors have just because they have loud crowds.
Yeah. But then, the fun thing that I'm excited to see is that the Celtics are first in the league right now with opponents' points per game.
So they are the best defensive efficient?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's defensive efficiency. It's just opponents' points per game.
Okay.
And they have they're allowing 99.5. And I don't think that includes tonight's game against the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers only scored 102, so it just maybe
boosts it.
Yeah, Celtics lost. But if I had to pick one thing that I'm most looking forward to over the next week is our defensive matchups against Hayward and Kyrie.
Like how good are our guards?
How good are our guards? Because I think that's going to set the tone for the season a little bit, or give everyone a little bit more insight.
A small forward, but he's a wing forward where he's going to be shooting threes.
But I mean, would you say that? I would say that Gary Harris is going to guard Kyrie.
I see probably Murray guarding Kyrie, and Harris is going to have to tackle. I don't know the Celtics lineup off the top of my head, but I'm assuming Jason Tatum is starting.
Torrey Craig on Hayward.
Yeah.
But then, with our defensive scheme,
we've been playing
such a
lights
out
zone all year, and that's the other side to look at. You can't really say Murray or Harris is specifically going to be on Kyrie, but. Well, because we run a zone. So it's like both Harris and Murray will be guarding Kyrie.
But there's definitely going to be certain trips down the court where Kyrie just basically calls an ISO.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Clear out. I got this. Let's go.
That's the reason why we run a zone is because we don't want to have an ISO.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you might ISO me, you're calling for an ISO, but I'm going to give you off to Gary Harris or, even Jokic. If you're going to come down to the blocks and try to get into the paint, you're going to have to get past Millsap or Jokic. Mm-hmm. And, when Trey Lyles is on the court, he's going to come up to the three-point line.
Wancho block, Gacho block.
Wancho's pretty good. Like his positioning could be better, and I think he's gonna have to work on his defense over the next day and a half.
Yep.
But as a basketball fan, and I play basketball here and there in my free time, I've always tried to emulate Kyrie's ball handling skills, and I am a firm believer that Kyrie is the best ball handler in the NBA.
Uncle Drew.
Yeah, this dude.
Yeah, for sure.
This dude is exciting to watch. Like when we watched him last year, like just some of the moves he puts on like don't seem like they're possible. He looks like he's playing a video game when he's dribbling the ball.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm kind of scared about.
And what's super scary is, I mean, going league wide, John Wall is phenomenal.
Yeah, John Wall's
Lillard
great.
is phenomenal.
Lillard's fantastic, but Lillard's more of like a jump shooter slasher kind of guy. But even
Chris
Steph
Paul.
Curry's handles does not
No one holds a light
compare to Kyrie.
No,
Like I would say maybe Chris Paul. Out of all those, Chris Paul is probably the next player.
Kemba,
No.
as far as handles,
No.
Not even close.
No.
Yeah,
Not even close. Kemba Walker's a great guard, but not even close. Like
No. He has flashes.
The elite guards right now, in my opinion, are in this order.
Are we saying overall?
Overall.
Okay.
Kyrie, CP3, and Steph Curry. Those are your top 3 guards, just overall.
Yep.
But for ball handling specifically, like Kyrie's in a world of his own.
Yeah, for sure.
Not
Yeah,
just
I mean,
a league, like his own world.
Yeah.
Like he's out of this
Yeah.
solar system, and he's got his own little planet that he dribbles on day in, day out.
Everyone else is here on Earth.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the matchup to watch is Kyrie.
Do you think we win? We'll start winding it down.
I think we win.
But you think we beat the Celtics at home?
I think we ride our
win streak.
Our
right
win
now?
streak, our the momentum that we've had. I mean, we had a great defensive fourth quarter here to close this game out, to continue that and to end on that type of a note going into a matchup like the Celtics, I think is huge.
Great confidence boost.
Yeah, for sure.
Maintaining our confidence since this is 4 in a row now. But I agree with you. I think we will win.
I think it's going to be closer than this game. We're not going to win by 15.
Definitely going to be closer. I hope it goes to overtime. I might make like a $5 bet before the game starts that it goes into overtime, because why not?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's going to be a tight one, and I'm really excited to see what happens. And I hope I can grab tickets last minute for cheap.
That would be sweet.
Because it's a Monday night.
Yeah.
I know there's some lazy ass people out there that don't want to go out on a Monday night, but it's a 7 p.m. game. You'll be back home and tucked in bed by like 11. Like, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, maybe midnight.
So yeah, if you guys don't want to go to the game and you have tickets, please email us at 5280filmroom@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to take them off your hands, either at face value or under face value if you're just trying to get some kind of value. But either way, if you don't want to go to the game, there's people out there that definitely are
whether it
show
be
up.
us or not us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think it'd be sweet to see a sellout crowd against the Celtics.
It's unlikely, but it would be so fantastic to have a sellout, because the Celtics are that good of a team that there's a lot of Boston fans out here in Denver. You see it when the Patriots come to town, unfortunately.
Yep.
So I know you Boston fans are out there. But either way, I think there's going to be a lot of fans there, and there's going to be some serious competition to be had against an Eastern Conference powerhouse.
Yeah, and I mean, even though I think we win, even if we do lose, it's definitely going to be a close matchup. I don't think we get blown out. No way.
No
way. I mean, we've held 5 teams out of our 9 games under 100 points, which is phenomenal.
We'll see what we can do against the Celtics.
Yep. That's where it starts. That's for this next week at least. And then we'll pretty much take it from there. See what the week brings.
Yeah. So we'll end it at that, and we'll catch you guys probably Thursday or Friday night next week before the Bucks game at home. Thanks for listening. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding our podcast, you can email at us at 5280filmroom@gmail.com. You can also follow us on iTunes, YouTube. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you're already there, but look on Facebook.
Just hit that subscribe button.
Facebook and Instagram. Like and subscribe all day.
Yep.
But you can also, just send us some messages if anything pops up. But we got to give a shout out to Steele Krause. He is our real estate guru. If you're looking for a home to get into in the Denver area, he is part of the Osgood Team Real Estate. You can reach him personally at 303-587-5417. And on that note, you guys have a great day, evening, morning, week, and go Nuggets.
Beat the Celtics. Let's go.
Later.
Peace.